Today we're starting styling and mapping. Welcome to our styling and mapping course, your guide to bringing balance to a client's eyes, elevating their look, and ultimately their confidence. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We are at episode 9. I am going live every Wednesday at 7:30 and I'm going through my course. So I'm inviting my friends to watch it with me if they want to see inside of the course. I'm critiquing it so that I can make it better. Today we're starting styling and mapping. It's crazy how fast the week flies by. When I'm like, this morning I actually forgot that it was Wednesday and I was like, oh my gosh, I have something to do right now. It feels like 2 days ago that I went live, but that's okay. Here we are, 9 weeks into Lashes and Coffee, and we're going to watch some of the course. Let's go ahead and put on styling and mapping. I'm excited and nervous to watch this actually right now. So again, don't hesitate to hurt my feelings. If you see me doing something weird or I should improve this course, like I love that. So we are going to start the styling and mapping course. If you can't hear it, make sure to let me know. I just want to make sure all the audio is working. But yeah, let's do this. Hi, I'm Danielle Ray, lead educator for Garnet Lash Society. Welcome to our styling and mapping course, your guide to bringing balance to a client's eyes, elevating their look, and ultimately their confidence. By the end of this course, you will be able to recognize eye shapes and facial features that are important for assessing styling goals, and then be able to build a lash map to strategize and implement the look your client desires. Every successful lash artist should feel confident in choosing styling methods to apply in different client situations. Feel free to revisit this course as many times as needed. At the end of the course, we have included a bonus styling cheat sheet and a mapping chart to keep handy and to assist you with consulting your clients. Yeah, I even use that all the time still. Like sometimes I don't know, like what should I do in this situation? So that styling and mapping chart that we spent a ton of time on is totally worth taking a look at. Okay, so let's go ahead. And it's so funny. I look so tired, but I've been awake for hours. I don't know why I look so tired, guys, but well, actually I slept a ton. So maybe I got slept like 9 hours. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next lesson, which please excuse me, my computer is taking a minute to load. I think I'm far away from the Wi-Fi. Okay, so we're going to talk about mapping foundations. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by all means, I will stop everything for you. Styling is the creative part where you and your client get to navigate their desired outcome by creating a custom formula. This formula is brought to life using lash mapping. Lash mapping is the process of strategically planning out the placement of eyelash extensions onto the natural lashes. There are some landmarks to a lash map that are important to understand. The emphasis area is the section on the map where the longest length of your formula will live. I often refer to this portion as the up to part. For example, here's a natural sweep lash map up to 12 millimeters. The inner and outer safety zones are the very ends of the lash line where the natural lashes are the shortest and often the weakest. The safety zones are about 10 to 15 lashes in distance and should never cross over into an emphasis area. When lashing an outer safety zone, maintain a steady decrease of length in at least 3 increments, even if this means only applying 2 to 3 lashes per length. When lashing an inner safety zone, be mindful to have proper eye pad placement, as this will allow you to see all of the inner corner lashes. Use the shortest lengths possible at the inner corner and gradually increase the length toward the emphasis area. Okay. So was that like too wordy? Sometimes I listen to myself talk and I'm like, do I sound like a chemistry textbook? Because I'm not trying to go for that. I just literally want to get the point across. I feel like that was a little fast. I don't know if anyone has any constructive feedback for that video, but the information I will say is super important. And this is again, why I love coming live right now, because I almost wish that module was this exact talk versus that curated filmed video. But I can't emphasize enough how many people I don't think are taking lash extensions short enough in the inner corners. That is a complete game changer, no matter what styling you even use. Oh, I guess I can remove this. You can see my face. Whatever styling you choose for a client, dramatic, natural, wispy, whatever, you got to take your inner corners really short because it just looks so much better. I can't stand looking at somebody when their lashes are so long on the inner corner. It like literally makes me go cross-eyed. So can you imagine, like, you don't want to be that person that has funky lashes that people notice when they're talking to you. And that's our responsibility as a lash artist to make sure people don't look like that, right? I mean, so inner corners. I've been lashing for almost 17 years. It wasn't even until about a year or two ago that I just started even adding sixes. I think my shortest length at some point in time was 9. I think when I was doing classic, I was going, that is so long. Right now, my longest length on my lashes is 9. Like, I am a total, it's funny how things just change. That's all I'm saying. So don't be scared. Don't sleep on going shorter. I even have 5s in stock and I haven't even used them yet, I don't think. So 5, 6, 7, 8, no matter how long you're going, they have to be short in the inner corner. So anyway, that was my like textbook explanation for that. And I think it could be a little bit better, but let's go on to the next module. All right, how to map. Let's see what I have to say about that. A well-executed lash map will guide you through application, ensuring symmetry, consistent results, and happy clients. To map, start by marking the inner and outer margins of your workspace, where a client's lashes start and end on either corner. Use your professional judgment to determine which lashes are viable lash line and should be left alone. Point, mark the location of the emphasis area, and then taper your lengths down in increments on either side of it. Always leave enough room in the safety zone to taper extensions down at least 3 increments from the longest. Use a minimum of 4 lengths and more if you can accommodate them. For example, if your maximum length is 12 millimeters on a lash map, make sure to also use at least an 11, a 10, and a 9 millimeter extension to taper down on either direction from the emphasis area. The shorter and further inward you are able to apply extensions to the inner corner lashes, the more complete and natural the results will be. Here is the difference between using 4 and 6 lengths incrementally to create a cat eye map with the same 12 millimeter maximum length. Once you have marked out your increments, label them with the lengths that are to be applied within that area. Keep in mind that at these transitional lines between lengths, you can apply the length from either side, creating a blending effect. Yeah, I mean, agreed. Sorry, I accidentally removed myself, so I don't think you heard me. But yeah, I think I'm cracking up because I feel like it's almost too professional. I don't know if you feel that way, but I like some of those pointers. So if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. We'll go on to the next lesson. All right, intro to styling maps. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, right? I have so much to say before we start. Hey. In this section, we explore the core styling maps and the results that they typically create. When mapping these styles, it is important to always use smooth transitions of lengths and curls across your map. Use a minimum of 4 lengths to fully highlight the emphasis area, which is the part of the map that features the longest length. In the examples ahead, we use emphasis areas up to 12 millimeters because these lengths commonly work for most people. The lengths on all styling maps are interchangeable, and your decisions should be finalized after your client consultation. To best explain the instructions for mapping, let's review the anatomy of a lash map. The midpoint marks the center of the eyelid. The first quarter is halfway between the inner corner and the midpoint, and the third quarter is halfway between the midpoint and the outer corner. Let's now explore styling maps and how to build them. Thanks, Michelle. You said it doesn't sound too professional. Okay. I know. I know I'm also just being like, obviously, not only am I being critical, but I think that like I know what it says, and so I'm hearing it differently. So I appreciate that. I just want to be easy to digest information. I just want to make sure that if someone is watching this for the first time, like it's not overwhelming to listen to. The natural sweep style, also known as the kitten, is the most common and flattering style because it follows a typical growth pattern of natural lashes. For this map, sections increase in length from the inner corner to the midpoint, which is where the emphasis area begins and continues until the third quarter or halfway past. Then the lengths taper down in length toward the outer corner. Okay, that was really short. So I noticed one thing about this course, which is a positive and a negative, is sometimes some of the sections are like super small, but it makes it easy to come back. I think the whole point is to be able to come back and like choose which listen you want to rewatch if that's the case. So these are all like under a minute long. Thank you so much for your feedback. I really. A cat eye style elongates the eye to create a sultry look. To create this elongation, start with the shortest lengths from the inner corner and increase the lengths until you've reached the third quarter. Here you want to emphasize the length with just enough room left to taper down the lengths again into the outer safety zone. The idea is to stretch the shorter lengths across to create a quick transition up to the emphasis area, which is a bit smaller than for the natural sweep. Don't make the mistake of extending the emphasis area into the outer safety zone. These outer corner natural lashes are usually a lot shorter and less stable, and adding lashes that are too long can cause a heavy or droopy look. By leaving this space to decrease the lengths at the very end, you will visually create a little gentle lift as well as keep their lashes healthy. Yeah, so I think what I'm also saying there is that too many people take a cat eye mapping too far out. So people, sometimes even a client will think like, oh yeah, I want them really long on the very, very end. And that's just not usually what it looks like. Even if you put them long all the way to the end, more often than not, the heaviest lashes just droop. So it sounds or seems counterintuitive at first, but like making them extra short, which don't look at my lashes right now, I need to brush them, but making them extra short on the end, even when it's a cat eye, actually lifts the eye. Let me grab a brush. I got one right here. So maybe I'm just hoping that, if someone feels inspired to maybe like mess with their mapping a little bit and make them shorter on the inner corners and shorter on the outer corners, and just watch their lash styling transform, because I think that the more that you taper to shorter on the inner and outer corners, the more you're actually making the eye just more real, right? So obviously, like if you can imagine an over exaggeration of just lashes that all fell out on the outer and inner corners and they're just concentrated in the middle, it just looks weird. But when you have some contrast and some color that are going super far in and super far out, but in order to go super far in, you have to use tiny, thin, short lash extensions, and it just looks so good. So anyway, let's keep going. Open eye. Okay. Gotta add to stage. The open eye style, or doll eye, creates an illusion of larger, more round eyes by emphasizing the lashes that are centered above where the iris rests naturally. Since this isn't always in the middle of the eyelid, use an eyeliner pencil to mark this center point on the upper eyelid while your client's eyes are still open. This way, you can draw your map using the center point after your client closes their eyes. To create an open eye map, place the emphasis area section above that center point, which lines up with the center of the iris, and then incrementally taper the lashes down in length toward the inner and outer corners. Another like game changer, honestly, was starting to take more note of the pupil area, which is often closer to the nose than the actual center of the eye. So when someone's looking straight at you and really either marking or just like sometimes I'll just like mess up their eyebrows right there just to be sure where that is. And really focusing the emphasis there for an open eye is amazing. And honestly, sometimes it turns into a reverse cat eye because again, that emphasis area isn't always in the direct center of the eyelid. It's actually over where the pupil sits. So another little game-changing solution that you may or may not be doing because I took a while to learn that one. So, all right, let's do one more lesson, I think. And if anyone wants to, okay, reverse cat eye. Look at that. Totally forgot that was there. Okay. Lastly, the reverse cat eye is exactly as it sounds, the opposite of cat eye. To achieve this, gradually increase the length from the outer corners toward the inner, with the emphasis area at the first quarter. Decrease in length from here through to the inner safety zone. This is an important style to try with clients who have wide-set eyes, giving them the illusion of drawing the eyes closer together. Wide-set eyes. Once you start paying attention more to you'll notice that that these things are super common, like a lot more common than you think. Okay, so it's 7:54, but I feel like there are some important additional it's like for this course, I jumped into the mapping because I know that's like the interesting part, but identifying facial features is going to be super duper important. So I'm trying to load my course again. Bear with me. Thanks for being here. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitch. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you want to throw me a random business question, I love that. Please interrupt me by all means. And if not, we can just keep watching. So we finished that. So now I got to go to next category. So I'm viewing the course as like a student. All right. So we've got eye shape and facial features, styling language, styling basic eye features, styling complex features. Okay. I feel like we should start this because I honestly want to share this with like my whole team to see who's behind on some of this information. Let's do another one. Let's do eye shape and facial features. Okay. This one's 3 minutes long. As a lash artist, it is crucial to take eye shape and other prominent facial features into consideration so that you can choose styling methods that will best enhance your client's look. There are 2 basic eye shapes, round and almond. Round eyes are circular in shape, meaning that they are about equal in width and height. Almond eyes, the most common eye shape, are typically about twice as resembling the shape of an almond. Often, there may be no additional features to take into consideration, and you may begin consulting your client on their styling based on this observation alone. However, in some cases, clients will have other distinct facial features that are considered noticeable, which may require some advanced styling methods to bring balance and enhance your client's facial features to be able to position, structure, and size. Position. Standard eye positions. Eyes that are about one eye width apart are considered the most common and are called proportionate. This is not considered a feature that needs to be styled. Close set eyes are positioned relative to each other with a smaller than average space between them, typically less than the width of one eye. Wide set eyes are positioned further apart from each other with a larger than average space between them, typically wider than the width of one eye. Downturned eyes have a downward tilt at the outer corners, with the inner corners appearing higher than the outer corners. Upturned eyes are the opposite and have an upward tilt at the outer corners, with the outer corners appearing higher than the inner corners, creating a lifted and cat-like appearance. Although almond eyes are typically slightly upturned, we are mentioning this feature here to acknowledge that in some cases, this may be exaggerated and therefore considered to be a more noticeable feature requiring extra attention to styling. Structure. Some structural features are very distinctive and will require extra attention to styling methods to complement a client's look. Hooded eyes have skin that droops over the crease, partially or fully covering the lower portion of the eyelid. This can make the eyelid area appear smaller and less visible when the eyes are open. Monolid eyes lack a visible crease between the eyelid and the brow bone. The eyelid sits smoothly against the eyeball without a defined fold. Protruding eyes appear to sit further out from the eye socket, making them more noticeable and prominent. They often have a larger appearance due to the forward projection of the eyeball, and the eyelids may appear more hidden. Deep-set eyes are recessed into the eye socket, creating the appearance of a prominent brow bone. The area from the brow bone to the actual eye may seem more shadowed or set back. This eye structure often creates the illusion of a more prominent forehead. Size. Lastly, you may need to take into consideration if your client's eyes seem smaller or larger than average when choosing a styling method. Yep. Okay. So I thought that was a good little intro to the fact that there are all of these facial features that you need to take note of when you are styling lashes. Real quick, let me show you. I'm going to end there with the course that we're reviewing today. So you can look forward to next week finishing this part of the course. So the Ultimate Lash Course has 13 courses inside of it. And so we're going through the Ultimate Lash Course right now. It's something that I offer my students. So I offer mentoring, and this is like their textbook. So it's a textbook that can be used by other mentors as well. If they're interested in becoming a mentor, this is a great tool. And we're restructuring our mentoring. Sorry, I'm jumping around. So let me just show you real quick what we're going over next week. We're going over styling language, styling basic eye features, styling complex features, length, curl, and density for styling, and lash growth patterns. That is going to be a nice, juicy second half of this lesson. So come back next week at 7:30 on Wednesday if you want to watch the rest. And stay tuned because we're doing some fun stuff. So I also started 2 podcasts last week or 2 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, Michelle says, glad I caught this today. I'm just considering getting back into lashing after 3 to 4 years. Hope to catch you again. Please do. This is why I'm here at 7:30. You don't even really need to watch. That bonus if you do, but listening to the course is going to help you as well improve as a lash artist no matter what. And, some of the themes that we've been talking about lately is like continuing education for any professional is not a bad thing. Doctors have to do continuing education. Why shouldn't lash artists? So I'm educating myself as I'm going through my course, and we're here at Garnet Lash, and I have a episode of Society Talk coming out about this whole topic, is just how I think the 2-day training course is dead, and I'm talking all about that and the solution I have for that. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for being here. It's been super fun every Wednesday, coming rain or shine. I'm here because I have to watch the course, and so to make it better. And so I'm literally just multitasking, sharing it with any of you who want to join. And I love the conversation. So I love criticism, critiques, feedback, community, whatever you want to say. Michelle says, right, it's a good refresher and look into how it's evolved since I was lashed into it. Yeah, so things have changed so much and they constantly change, which is also what makes it so fun. And it's fun to say that actually like natural is kind of a trend. You don't have to be so intimidated by the mega volumes and whatnot. But things have changed and we're sharing a lot. So thanks for being here. Stay tuned. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll catch you next week at 7:30 Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Okay.